Another chilly morning ahead for your Thursday. We're on your side with when temperatures are finally going to warm up for the rest of your week before rain comes back into the forecast.
And as we head into spring, severe weather season, we talk about how La Nina and El Nino play a role in how many tornadoes we can potentially see per year.
Plus, as we talk about how to keep you and your family safe during severe weather, we also bring tips on how to prep your fur babies for the season.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And we're so glad you're with us here for First Alert Weather Extra. So glad to be joined by the team here today.
Got about half of the team here tonight, right?
The other half of the team is asleep. They're sleeping about right now.
Well, they may be telling us that. They're probably out enjoying some of this nice weather, right?
Hey, wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. It's been so incredible out there today, but we do have some wet weather coming back for Friday. JP, I know you're going to tell us a little bit about the next big thing.
I do. A lot of rain coming up back in the forecast. What would it be? It's a Friday and we have rain. That's the way it works around here. Every Friday we get a little rain. Take a look at what's going on. Outside, you may have noticed with some of those burns going on, it's been a little hazy. Visibility has been a bit low in places out there. Take a look at the temperatures. Currently, we have 72 degrees in Birmingham. Winds out of the west, southwest at about 11 miles per hour. What we're going to see for tomorrow, it's going to be a dry day. Temperatures warming up into the lower 70s. We'll have an increase in cloud cover as we get into the afternoon, but overall, your Thursday, not a bad looking day. Our rain chances at 0%. And the wind's a lot lighter. Over the last couple of days, we did have some breezy conditions, especially yesterday. We noticed those winds kicking up just a little bit. Wind forecast for tomorrow, less than 10 miles per hour. We need to talk specifically about our rain chances. And here's the breakdown on the rain chances as we get into Friday. Morning and afternoon, evening, elevated rain chances, and then going into the overnight, the rain chances are going to be a lot lower. Right now, forecast models are showing, I think, the better chance of rain morning through the early afternoon. Later in the day, those rain chances should begin to subside. Here's what the weather map looks like on our next big thing, the setup, and we'll roll on through this. The red indicating a warm front that is going to be lifting to the north. Right now, I am not seeing any indications that we will have severe weather with this particular setup, but we'll certainly see some rain. You saw the rain come through first part of the day. Later in the afternoon, there's that southerly wind flow, the moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. Some heavier rain Friday afternoon and evening south of Interstate 20. This system rolls on through, and for the weekend we do have a front that's going to move in. That's going to allow high pressure to build back in, so by Saturday afternoon I think we will see the return of some sunshine and also a pretty decent looking day on Sunday. So a first alert at this point for a pretty good chance of some rain coming up on Friday. The good news, we will be avoiding the severe weather threat. If there's any changes in that setup, we'll keep you updated with our WBRC First Alert Weather app. Tadia?
Thanks, JP. But taking you around the globe now as the United Nations sound the alarm over global warming. The World Meteorological Organization saying this year is on track to be another record hot year. This comes after a new study found that every major global climate record was broken last year. But according to Celeste Salo, who is the Secretary General for the WMO, there is still hope, saying that weather and climate services will be vital to transitioning to cleaner energy sources. This also comes as the Arctic is beginning to see more rainy days. This is according to the Earth Observatory from NASA. As scientists examined rainfall trends, they've noticed that not only have rainy days increased during a study from 1980 to 2016, but the length of the rainy season has also grown longer. The most dramatic of changes in the North Atlantic, where it rained 5 more days per decade. This comes as temperatures in the Arctic are warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet.
And back here at home with spring severe weather season upon us, the First Alert weather team wants to make sure you and your pets are prepared. So this cat lady decided to reach out to the Cat Daddy for advice. Jackson Galaxy, also known as the Cat Daddy, who hosts My Cat from Hell on Animal Planet, is a renowned cat and animal advocate. He traveled to Birmingham with the Greater Good charities to help out local organizations like the Greater Birmingham Humane Society to set up both domestic and community cat pets for success. I sat down with him today to ask him specifically about my two favorite subjects, cats and severe weather. His best piece of advice, make sure your cat is comfortable with their carrier.
It shouldn't be a place that they dread. It should actually be that place they go to when they are scared. So turning your carriers into beds, into places where they get their special treats, keeping those carriers available to you at all times. They shouldn't be out in the garage gathering dust. They should be that safe place for the cat so that when and if it's time to go, that they will go there to begin with, and once they go there, they're going to immediately calm down.
My cat Ophelia says good luck with that one. Well, tomorrow night on Weather Extra, we'll actually bring you a more in-depth look at how you can set your cat up for success during extreme weather events thanks to Jackson Galaxy. And while we continue prepping for the total solar eclipse in our area, thousands are expected to flock to Central Texas as it sits in the path of totality. The Will of Waco will be hosting a weekend-long festival featuring music, food, and a spectacular view of the eclipse. People traveling there can let it be a day experience or an entire weekend. They have room for RV parking as well as acres of shaded areas available for those who want to camp. And following the eclipse, they'll be having a special VIP party. And in 30 seconds, we take a quick check on our local weather as well as bring you some interesting facts about tornado frequency in March. We'll be right back.
And first alert weather, extra dry day out there today. Check out what's happening on radar. No rain showing up. We did have a bit of smoke out there today from some of those controlled burns, so that is limiting visibility in places. Some of the haze that are you seeing in the atmosphere when you're kind of looking out the window today, that's what's going on there. Take a look at the temperature. So we warmed up today into the lower 70s. Earlier this week, we had those temperatures down into the upper 20s to lower 30s. So now we're on the rebound. We're going to be looking at rain coming in as we get into Friday. At this point, does not look like a severe weather setup. We'll keep you posted on that. And we are going to be looking at generally dry weather for the weekend. More on your forecast.
Well, as meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson join us now, they actually talk about March tornado trends as well as how teleconnections like La Nina and El Nino play a role.
Spring officially here, and I think a lot of you at home, when you think spring, of course you're thinking flowers and warmer temperatures, but sometimes that means severe weather season and the threat for tornadoes.
Yeah, typically in March and April you're going to have most of your severe weather for the entire year, maybe November into December as well. But March and April, that's when we really see those storms ramp up.
That's right. So this graphic right here is just showing those Alabama tornadoes by month. And obviously we see that surge in March and April, and it starts to slow down in May. Normally the severe weather threat starts to shift farther to our north and west into the plains and the northern portions of the United States as we go into the summer months. But as you can see, you can get tornadoes any time of the year. But let's look at March. Just March alone. This is for the United States so far this year, and this is preliminary, so this number could change. Obviously it will. We still have, 10, 11 days left of March. 43 tornadoes.
That's not too shabby.
Well,
comparatively, compared to other years that you're about to bring up.
Yeah, so I was just curious about that. Okay, 43, is that high? Is that low? Well, compared to the past couple of years, 2022, 2023, that is a very low number.
Yeah, and makes you wonder what is playing into this. Why is it a little lower this year compared to past years?
Yeah, and I was wondering about that. A lot of times La Nina, El Nino, which is a feature we see with the water temperatures in the Pacific, it can change those global patterns. And usually, just based off historical severe weather events, we have noticed an uptick in tornado activity in La Nina and less activity when it comes to El Nino.
And we're coming out of an El Nino season right now, so it might have something to do with that.
Right, so I've highlighted in blue those years where we were in La Nina, and it looks like a lot of those years where it was very active, were La Nina. So like 2022, 234 tornadoes across the country. And here's El Nino, and you can
Not
see
quite as active.
not as quite as active, not as many El Ninos either. So 2015 was very quiet, and the other ones are just neutral years. So what has happened was we were kind of briefly, like for instance in 2017 and 2016, we were in El Nino, and then as we went to 2017 or so, we started noticing those temperatures were cooling a bit, and I think that sort of translated to a more active period in 2017, even though it was considered a neutral year. And same idea for 2023. It was a neutral year, but we were coming out of a very strong La Nina,
So we're
and
hoping
so that was active.
We're hoping this won't be an active year.
We're crossing our fingers
Of course,
because
we hope that every year.
right, and because we, as you were saying, we are in an El Nino. Although that El Nino is fading away, and it is forecast to become a La Nina, perhaps as we go into the summer and fall months, and that could kind of translate to hurricane season, which we'll get to when we get there.
Different topic.
Yeah, that's a different topic. But let's talk about the most tornadoes in March. And as you were seeing in that graphic below, or before that, 2022 was #1 for 234 tornadoes in the country. 2023 was second.
How about that?
Yeah, very interesting.
Past few years, just hard to believe that nationwide, that's when we saw most of those tornadoes. So let's hold on to that hope and keep that alive, that this year will be a quiet one.
Yes, and that's because we're in a severe weather season. Always have that plan. You just never know when we'll have the next storm system that could cause some problems across the southeast.
Well, still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we talk about the upcoming rain for the start of the weekend and when we could see that next chance of frost. Hate to break it to you. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back into Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt across the state of Alabama. Very dry conditions. Temperatures right now still showing close to 70 degrees out there. It's feeling nice. That sunset time closer to 7 o'clock. You notice on the radar some of this ground clutter. We have had some prescribed burns happening across the state, so we're picking that up on radar as well out there. And I just want to show you the smoke forecast. Again, these are not wildfires. They're controlled burns that we're seeing across the state. It's that time of the year. But just to show you that through 8 o'clock, there may be some areas in here, parts of Shelby, Talladega County, where it might be just a little bit hazy out there for this evening, but again, feeling very nice, and you can see that dispersion there through the overnight hours. But we're going to have dry weather that continues through tomorrow, and then showers come back on Friday. So we are looking at a good chance for rain coming up on Friday, especially by the afternoon and in the evening. It's not just a steady soaking all day. There will be a few breaks in the mix, but it's going to be cold, breezy, with off and on showers, and when it's not raining, maybe even just a little bit of mist or drizzle out there until the system moves through. It should move out early Saturday morning. I think at least the rain ends. There might be some leftover clouds, though, into the morning hours there on Saturday. But that's the next big thing that we're going to be talking about. Let's break down the model data here and just show you what the forecast, first off, the forecast satellite data is showing us the possibility of some clouds, high clouds moving in through this evening, but no rain showing up through tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. temperatures well above freezing, so we're not concerned about frost, freezing temperatures in the morning. Light east wind. The wind's actually going to be out of the southeast tomorrow, and it's going to become a bit more easterly into tomorrow night. You can see wind southeast at 5 to 10 there by 4 o'clock tomorrow, and temperatures warming up into the mid-70s. We went with a high close to 75 degrees for tomorrow, so feeling very nice out there. But notice the chance for rain comes back on Friday. It's an upper-level disturbance that's going to rotate across the state, and as it does so, it's going to bring in some of those showers from the south. Notice there might be some in-between periods there during the day, but I'd certainly plan for some wet weather impacts for the morning drive on Friday and even into the afternoon. Notice 2 o'clock still could see some more of these showers rotating through. Notice the temperatures by 7 o'clock showing some upper 50s out there. I think for parts of the area, it's going to be a struggle to break out of the 50s on Friday. It's going to be a chilly day with that wind out of the east-northeast at 4 to 8 miles per hour, and with a upper-level system like this, it wouldn't surprise me if we had a couple of reports, maybe some small hail where we had some because of the cold air aloft, and some of these showers that move through. But we'll get this out of here Friday night, and looks like Saturday again we'll start to see some improvements. But the 7-day forecast starting off very nice for tomorrow with those afternoon highs in the 70s, maybe some leftover clouds Saturday morning, 68, lows in the 40s going into early on Sunday. Those temperatures staying well above freezing. Daytime highs in the 70s and a chance for rain coming back for Tuesday. Watching next Tuesday, I think we could see some storms there, but right now it looks like those ingredients that we often look for when it comes to severe weather rather low, and hopefully it stays that way, but we're keeping a close watch on that next system, and so is meteorologist Tania Michelle as we go beyond the 7-day forecast. Tania, looking at next week for a system as we start to see April there on our first alert weather calendar.
I know, we're watching it closely, Wes. So he's talking about March the 26th and into your Wednesday, March the 27th, where we have another system bring us a chance for showers and possible storms. Notice that we're dry as we approach next weekend, Friday, Saturday, but it looks like we could see some rain on the last day of March. That's March 31st. Now, as we bring in April, not a bad start, guys. Looks like we'll be seeing quiet conditions, maybe a few clouds out and about, but dry for the most part, so not looking bad at all. But let's take a look here at what we can see beyond the 7-day. We're looking at March the 28th through April 3rd. Across the United States, it looks like majority of us are going to be seeing above average rainfall, except maybe down here near Texas. But for us here at home, still looking like above average. So we could see more wet weather than usual at this time of the year, or really as we approach early April. So just keep that in mind. We've still got more wet days and possible stormy days ahead of us. Now, as far as temperatures, this is March the 28th through April 3rd. Our average is around 68 and our average low is around 46. But for the United States, it looks like some of us seeing below average temperatures, like up towards Idaho and areas to the north. But looking at north and east United States, above average temperatures, as well as down in Texas and the southern portions of Florida, like down in Miami. But are we surprised though? No. But for us here at home, it looks like we can be seeing near average temperatures. So what does that mean? It means that we can see more seasonable conditions in terms of our temperatures. So we should be right around 68 near our average high and our average low at 46 degrees. And once again, this is March 28th through April 3rd. 3rd. So not bad for us here across central Alabama. I'm trying to help my girl Lauren out. She's coming up next to tell us a little bit more. Lauren, what do you have to share with us?
Well, Tania, I hate to break it to you, but now's our chance to talk about the pollen forecast. And we know it's pretty crummy here in Birmingham, but what about those of you who suffer from seasonal allergies? Even crummier. We've been seeing it all across our area, so you may think your city has it bad for seasonal allergies, like Birmingham, not great. But that's not true unless you live in Wichita, Kansas. That's according to the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. Cities that join them is Virginia Beach, Greenville, South Carolina, Dallas, and Oklahoma City. The CDC says that more than 50 million Americans suffer from allergies. So yeah, the pollen forecast, not great. And even when we have cooler temperatures in the forecast, it's not going to help much, right? We saw over the weekend, we got to freezing, and I'm like, no, it's freezing outside and there's still yellow dust over my car. What gives? So looking at the pollen forecast for tomorrow, it's still going to be dry. The tree pollens are still the most notorious right now. Those are the ones that are running high. Specifically, that yellow pollen you're seeing that's coming from pine trees, which we have a lot of those around here. Grass is more at moderate levels right now because we've been a few days without rain. We've just got low mold levels, but we'll take a final look at your forecasts and that sneeze meter also not looking great right after the break.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Tania Michelle here as we continue to talk about snowstorms that left parts of Colorado with several feet of snow. A Colorado man is now telling his story after being trapped for, get this, 10 hours. Sam Pina has his story of survival.
Woke up to a tremendous amount of snow, started cutting my way out.
During snow season, you'll find Bren Wilson helping out the neighbors,
I'm the one doing the recovery. I'm the one doing the rescue.
tackling the snow and rescuing stranded friends in his big red tractor.
I was going to try to make it to my neighbor's ranch down the hill, which I estimated to be maybe a half mile or so, but I didn't estimate the snow to be up to my shoulders.
But last Thursday, Bren was the one in need of rescuing.
And I got myself into no man's land.
After his tractor shut down while trying to clear the road, he was stranded in shoulder-deep snow.
It was snow cave time.
Bren tried to rest in a cave until rescuers could arrive, but he was fading fast.
I was shutting down. I couldn't verbalize. My hallucinations were wild.
Miraculously, his phone rang, and for an hour and a half, his daughter Kyla helped navigate rescuers.
Alpine did it the old-fashioned way. Nordic skis and snowshoes. And it was a long haul.
The Alpine rescue team found him in the nick of time.
I said my goodbyes to my daughter. It was tough.
Ensuring that he would be around for his family, who have a few upcoming celebrations.
It was very, very difficult to say goodbye to her, especially this close to her college graduation in a month and a half that I'm going to in upstate New York.
In the days since, he's started to recover and is even ready to get back to work.
I'm very, very sore because the work still needs to be done. As you can see, I have lots of vehicles kind of still.
But this time, Bren's neighbors are the ones doing that work, clearing out his driveway and roads.
We're a small community, but we're a strong community, and we really look out for each other.
Extending a helping hand to the man who's freely given his before.
All right. Well, and we're glad to have Tania back. Just in from San Francisco, and happy birthday.
Did you leave your heart there? That's a song, you know.
No, I did not leave my heart, but they took my money, so I left that there.
You left your money in San Francisco.
Tania, please.
Quick, I like that.
All right. Well, hey, coming up tonight, we'll be back with more on our forecast. Of course, that chance for rain there on Friday. So check in with us. Check the First Alert Weather app. Enjoy this weather. Have a great evening.